Welcome back to CyberTechHaus. I am glad you are joining us as we move into Module 4, Cryptography Part 2. In this module, we will build on the cryptography basics we covered earlier and explore some of the most critical ideas in cybersecurity. These concepts are the building blocks of security. They are essential to understanding how and why we protect data, networks, and systems. By the end of this module, you will have a solid grasp of these core ideas, giving you a strong foundation as we continue into more advanced topics. So let's dive in and continue mastering the fundamentals of cybersecurity. Welcome to Module 4, Cryptography Part 2, Introduction to Encryption Types. Imagine you want to send a secret message to your friend across the playground. Symmetric encryption. The secret box. You and your friend have a special box with a lock and key. You both have the same key. So you send the message. You put your message in the box, lock it with a key, and send the box to your friend. Your friend receives the message. He or she receives the box. Your friend uses their copy of the same key to unlock the box and read the message. Simple, right? But here's the problem. How do you get the key to your friend in the first place without someone else getting it? That is the tricky part of symmetric encryption. And here is the solution. The solution is in asymmetric encryption, where you have the magic boxes. This time, you and your friend each have a different box with a special lock and key. So, with your special box, your box has a slot where anyone can drop a message in it. But with only you have the key to open it. This is your private key. You also make copies of the lock part, but not the key, and give them out to anyone who wants to send you a message. These are your public keys. So your friend's special box. Your friend has a similar box with their own private key and public keys. So you start sending messages. You find your friend's public key, the lock part, put your message in it, and it automatically locks. Now, only your friend can open it with their private key. Receiving the message, your friend uses their private key to unlock the box and read the message. This asymmetric encryption is more secure because you never have to share your private key. But it takes a bit longer to work because the locks and keys are more complicated. Let me give you an example in the real world. We will start with the symmetric encryption. Think of a password protecting a file on your computer. Only people with the password, the key, can access it. But with asymmetric, think of how you buy things online. Your browser uses asymmetric encryption to send your credit card information securely to the website, even though many other people might be using the same internet connection. So that is the gist of it. We used simple analogies to explain the core concepts of symmetric and asymmetric encryption without getting bogged down in the technical details. Welcome to our next topic, cryptography, encryption types, symmetric and asymmetric cryptography, overview. There are two main types of encryption algorithms, symmetric and asymmetric. We classify encryption algorithms based on whether they use the same key for encryption and decryption, symmetric, or different keys, asymmetric. Symmetric cryptography and DES. Symmetric cryptography uses the same key for encryption and decryption. One of the most famous examples is Data Encryption Standard, DES, developed in the 1970s to standardize encryption for government use. DES was a big step forward because agencies used different, often untested algorithms before it, creating security gaps and communication issues. DES works by taking blocks of data, 64 bits each, and passing them through a series of complex functions called facetor functions, which apply substitution and transposition operations to make the data unreadable. Each block goes through these 16 times for strong encryption. While DES was groundbreaking, it's now outdated and insecure due to advances in computing power. Triple DES. To improve DES's security, a workaround called triple DES was created, which applies the DES algorithm 3 times to the same message using different keys, key 1, key 2, and key number 3. This made the encryption stronger and extended DES's useful life. There are 3 options for applying these keys using 3 different keys, K1, K2, and K3, which is the strongest, or reusing keys in pairs or 3, which weakens security. However, even triple DES is no longer secure enough by today's standards, and it is being phased out in favor of more advanced algorithms like AES. Remember, for the exam that triple DES was a symmetric encryption fix for DES, but it is now being replaced. Let's look at AES, blowfish, and twofish. These are the modern symmetric encryption algorithm standards. AES, Advanced Encryption Standard, the current standard, uses block sizes of 128 bits and offers keys length of 128, 192, or 256 bits. It is highly secure and widely used. Blowfish, it's an order algorithm which allowed flexible key length, but it is considered outdated today, with its successor twofish still regarded as secure. Each algorithm has strengths and weaknesses, but AES is currently the preferred standard due to its robust security. Symmetric encryption remains essential, and understanding each algorithm's role will give you strong foundation in cybersecurity. Now let's turn our attention to asymmetric cryptography and RSA. Asymmetric cryptography helps solve the scalability problem by using a pair of keys for encryption and decryption. One of the earliest and still widely used algorithm in this field is RSA, named after its creators Ron Rivest, Adi Shamil, and Len Edelman, introduced in 1977. RSA remains relevant today. When using RSA, each user creates a unique key pair by choosing 2 large prime numbers and combining them to produce a public key and a private key. The public key can be shared openly, while the private key remains secret. RSA encryption works by allowing a sender to encrypt a message using the recipient's public key. Only the recipient with their private key can decrypt the message, ensuring confidentiality. RSA encryption, workflow, and efficiency. RSA encryption, while secure, is relatively slow for long messages, so it is often used just to establish a secure connection. In practice, RSA is used to exchange a symmetric key for a faster ongoing communication session. Once this symmetric key is securely shared, the session switches to faster symmetric encryption. RSA's history includes a unique twist. It was initially patented by MIT, where Rivest was a professor, but the patent expired in 2000. The key takeaways about RSA include that it is an asymmetric encryption algorithm, commonly uses key length from 1024 to 4096 bits, and has become an essential tool for establishing secure channels, though primarily used for initial key exchange. Let's look at PGP and GNUPG. In 1991, Phil Zimmermann developed Pretty Good Privacy, PGP, which combines both symmetric and asymmetric encryption for efficient, secure communication. PGP works by encrypting a message with a randomly generated symmetric key, and then encrypting that key with the recipient's public key. The recipient decrypts the symmetric key with their private key and uses it to decrypt the message. This blend of symmetric and asymmetric methods makes PGP both efficient and secure. GNU-PG GPG is an open source implementation of PGP, providing encryption tools to users. With PGP, users generate their own public-private key pairs, which they use to exchange secure messages, making it a powerful, flexible choice for securing communications. Okay, I know cryptography can sometimes be challenging to understand. So bear with me, we can do this. Now that you have a feel for symmetric and asymmetric encryption, let's talk more about symmetric encryption and specifically the data encryption standard, DES. Think of it as a classic codebook, but it is way more complex. And here's how it works. Imagine you have a secret message you want to send to your friend. You don't want anyone else to read it, so you use a special code to scramble the message. This is where DES comes in. It's like a super complicated lockbox for your message. Developed by IBM in the 1970s, back then everyone had their secret codes, which was a mess. DES was created to standardize things like having one universal language for secret messages. The FAISTO function. This is the fancy name for that 16-tumbler lock. It uses a mix of substitution, swapping letters, and transposition, rearranging letters to jumble things up. DES was a big deal in its day, but like an old lock, it's not as secure today. DES works like this. The lockbox. Consider DES a strong box with 16 different tumblers. Each tumbler can be set to a different position, making it incredibly difficult to open without the right combination. The key. You and your friend share a secret key. This is like the combination to the lockbox. It tells you exactly how to set each of the 16 tumblers, scrambling the message, which is encryption. Put your message in the lockbox and turn the tumblers to the secret key. This scrambles the message into unreadable jumble, like turning hello into KHOOR, as you can see in the slide. Unscrambling the message, which is decryption. Your friend receives that jumbled message and uses the same key, the same secret key, to return the tumblers to their original positions. This unlocks the box and reveals the original message, hello. DES is like a secure lockbox that uses a secret key to scramble and unscramble messages. It was a powerful tool for its time, but like any lock, it can be broken with enough effort. Today, we have even stronger encryption methods to protect our secrets. Let's continue discussing asymmetric encryption, and specifically this time the triple Ds. When people figured out how to pick the DES lock, they needed a quick fix. Enter triple Ds. Imagine you want to send a super secret message to your friend. You're worried someone might try to intercept and read it, so you need extra strong encryption. This is where triple Ds comes in. It's like using 3 lock boxes to protect your message. And here's how it works. The triple lock boxes. As you can see in the slide, imagine 3 lock boxes nested inside each other. Each lock box has its own unique key, making it incredibly difficult to open without all the 3 keys. The keys. You and your friends or your friend share 3 secret keys, one for each lockbox. Triple scrambling encryption. You put your message in the first lockbox and lock it with the first key. Then you put that lockbox inside the second lockbox and lock it with the second key. Finally, you put both lockboxes inside the third lockbox and lock it with the third key. Now your message is super scrambled. Triple unscrambling, the decryption phase. Your friend receives the triple locked message and uses the 3 keys in reverse order to unlock each box, one by one. This reveals the original message. Think of it like this. Instead of 1 lock, you use 3 locks in a row. You lock your message with the first key, then lock it again with the second key, and finally, a third key. Triple the protection. Why not just 2 locks, you might ask? Well, it's because there are a lot of clever people out there and they found a way to pick 2 locks at once. 3 locks make it much harder. The key takeaway is triple Ds was a good temporary solution, like adding extra chains to your bike. But eventually, even that wasn't enough. It is time for some modern encryption. Meet AES, Blowfish, and Twofish. When it comes to modern encryption needs, organizations have many symmetric algorithms to choose from. The Advanced Encryption Standard AES, Blowfish, and Twofish are the 3 commonly used ones. The Advanced Encryption Standard AES was developed after a competition led by the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, to find a more secure replacement for DES. The winning algorithm, Regido, is now known as AES. Like DES, AES uses a mix of substitution and transposition functions to achieve strong encryption, and it is widely used today in many applications, from web security to encrypted voice communications. Let's break down how AES works. Imagine you have a file with sensitive information that you want to encrypt. You can encrypt that file with a password using a tool like AES Crypt, an open source package available on all major operating systems. Once encrypted, the file becomes a string of random, unreadable characters, essentially gibberish. The only way to retrieve the original data is by using the same password to decrypt it. This is how symmetric encryption works. The same key or password is used for encryption and decryption. Now, imagine you are a secret agent and must send top secret messages to your headquarters. You can't just use any old code. You need the most robust encryption possible. That is where AES, Blowfish, and Twofish come in. There are high-tech safes for your messages. AES, Blowfish, and Twofish are different models of high-security safes for your messages. They use complex mathematical formulas to scramble the messages, making it nearly impossible to decipher without the correct key. AES is considered the most secure of the three, like a state-of-the-art safe with multiple layers of protection. And here is how it works. The safes. Think of AES, Blowfish, and Twofish as models of super strong safes. Each safe has a unique design and locking mechanism, making them incredibly difficult to crack. The key. You and the headquarters share a secret key. This is like the combination to the safe. It's the only way to open the safe and access the message. Locking the message or encryption. Put your message in the safe and turn the dial to the secret key. This scrambles the message into unreadable jumble, like turning Mission Impossible into some jumbled message. Unlocking the message, decryption. The headquarters receives the jumbled message and uses the same secret key to turn the dial back to the original position. This unlocks the safe and reveals the original message, Mission Impossible. AES is the gold standard today. Think of it as a super strong, high-tech lock that is nearly impossible to pick. Blowfish. This was another contender, but it has some weaknesses, like a lock with a flimsy key. Twofish. This is like an improved version of Blowfish with a stronger key and better protection. The takeaway here is that AES is the current champion, but Twofish is also a strong contender in the encryption world. Now, let's quickly look at some of the key facts about AES. AES is a symmetric algorithm, as you already know, and it's also a block cipher. As we mentioned earlier, AES works on 128-bit blocks, unlike the 64-bit blocks of DES and TripleDES. AES allows three key lengths: a 128-bit, a 192-bit, and a 256-bit. Now let's look at a few critical facts about blowfish. It is also a symmetric encryption algorithm that works as a block cipher on 64-bit blocks. We can use any key length between 32 and 448 bits. Blowfish is no longer considered secure, as I mentioned earlier, because there are known attacks against some weak encryption keys. Two-fish. Two-fish algorithm is recommended. Two-fish relies on Festo network for secrecy that combines substitution and transposition. Here are the key facts about two-fish. It is a symmetric encryption algorithm that works on blocks of 128 bits using a key length of 128, 192, and 256 bits. As mentioned earlier, two-fish is still considered secure for use today. Steganography. Have you ever wanted to hide a secret message in plain sight? That is steganography. Steganography is like hiding a secret message in plain sight. It's a clever way to communicate without anyone else knowing. It's like really magic, but it's just intelligent use of technology. Imagine you are a spy and you must send a secret message to your contacts without anyone else knowing. You can't just hand them a note, it's too risky. Instead, you use steganography. It's like hiding your message in plain sight. And here is how it works. Step number 1, the hidden message. Think of your message as a tiny piece of paper with the words, "Meet me at the cafe" written. Step number 2, the cover image. You take a picture of something ordinary, like a cat, as you can see in the slide, or a sunset. This is your cover image. Step number 3, hiding the message. You carefully hide the tiny message within the picture. For example, you might change the color of a few pixels in the cat's fur or the sunset's clouds to match the letters in your message. No one would ever notice the difference. Step number 4, sending the image. You send the picture to your contact, maybe by email or posting it online. To everyone else, it's just a normal picture. Step number 5, revealing the message. Your contact receives the picture and uses a special tool to extract the hidden message. They know exactly where to look and how to decode the subtle changes in the pixels to reveal the message, "Meet me at the cafe." The key takeaway here is steganography is like the ultimate hidden message trick, concealing information where no one would think to look. All right, students, let's discuss another way to protect secret messages. Asymmetric cryptography. Specifically, we're going to look at the RSA algorithm. Imagine you want to send a secret letter to your friend, but you are worried someone might intercept it. Asymmetric cryptography is like having a special mailbox with 2 slots. 2 mailboxes in one. One slot is for incoming mail. This is like your public key. Anyone can use it to send you a letter. You can even make copies of this slot and give it to everyone you know. The other slot, however, is for outgoing mail, but it is locked, and it's only you that have the key to open it and get the letters inside. This is your private key, and you keep it safe and sound. RSA, the super secure mailbox. This special mailbox was invented by three super bright guys, Ron Rivest, Adi Shamil, and Len Edelman. They came up with this idea in 1977, and it is still used today to protect online information. Here is how it works. Let's say you are Alice and your friend Bob want to send you a secret message as seen in the slide. They write the message and put it in the incoming mail slot of your special mailbox. They use your public key to open the box and send the message. Now, the message is safe inside your mailbox and no one else can open it because, well, they don't have your private key. You are the only one who has it. When you get home, you use your private key to unlock the outgoing mail slot and take out the message. The downside. This method is super secure, but can be a bit slow, like sending a package by snail mail. So, sometimes we use RSA to send a small but significant package, like a key, to another faster mailbox, symmetric encryption. Then we can use that quicker mailbox to send longer messages back and forth. Here is a pop quiz question for viewers. Imagine you have one of these special mailboxes. How would you use it to receive a secret message from another person, friend, or neighbor? You would be correct if you thought you would give them a copy of your public key, the incoming mail slot, so they could send you a message. And it's only you that can open it with your private key. The key takeaway. RSA is like a super secure mailbox system that ensures only the intended recipient can read the message. It's one of the most essential tools we use to protect our information in the digital world. PGP and GNU-PG. Okay, class. Now that we know about asymmetric encryption, let's talk about something called PGP or pretty good privacy. It's like a super secure envelope for your secret messages. For this video, I encourage you to follow the slide on your screen to understand how PGP works. It was invented by Phil Zimmermann in 1991. This guy was open source about privacy back in the early 1990s. He wanted to create a way for people to protect their emails and other messages from prying eyes. He came up with two layers of protection for PGP. PGP uses symmetric and asymmetric encryption to secure messages and files, combining the strength of both approaches. Here's how it works. When someone wants to send a secure message, they first encrypt it with a randomly generated symmetric key. Symmetric encryption is fast, efficiently turning the message into ciphertext, the unreadable data.
Next, the sender uses the recipient's public key from asymmetric cryptography to encrypt this symmetric key. The encrypted message and the encrypted symmetric key are sent to the recipient. This way, only the intended recipient with the private key can decrypt the symmetric key and use it to unlock the original message. This layered approach lets PGP provide strong security without slowing down communication. GNU-PG or GPG is the open source version of PGP as defined by RFC 4880, available for free and widely used today. It's like having those special envelopes and mailboxes on your computer. It works similarly to PGP, relying on asymmetric and symmetric encryption to protect data, but it follows the open PGP standard, making it compatible with other PGP-based tools. With GPG, users can create their own public-private key pairs, which are needed to send and receive secure messages. Here's how it works. Suppose two users, Alice and Bob, want to exchange secure messages. Each person uses GPG to generate a key pair and shares their public key. When Alice sends a message to Bob, she encrypts it with a symmetric key, when then encrypts that symmetric key with Bob's public key. Bob then decrypts the symmetric key with his private key and uses it to access the message. GPG's open source nature means it is continuously reviewed and updated, providing a flexible, secure solution for protecting data in an accessible way. Now, here is a pop quiz question for you viewers. Let's say you want to send me a secret message using PGP. Can you explain the steps you would take? I'll give you 5 seconds to come up with an answer. If your response is something like, you would first encrypt the message with a secret key, the envelope, and then encrypt that key with my public key, the mailbox. This way, only I can decrypt the key and then the message. Then you are exactly correct. The takeaway for GNU GP. PGP is a double-layered security system for your messages. It combines the speed of symmetric encryption with the security of asymmetric encryption. It's like having a super secure envelope inside a super secure mailbox. Okay, cybersecurity students. Now that we have covered the basics of asymmetric cryptography, let's dive into some more advanced stuff. Elliptic curve cryptography, or ECC, and quantum cryptography. These are like the next generation of secret codes. RSA weaknesses. Remember how RSA uses those prime numbers to create its keys? What if someone finds a way to quickly find those prime numbers? It's like finding a hidden weakness in the lock that makes it easy to pick. That is why we need even stronger encryption methods. ECC, the stronger lock. ECC is like using a different kind of lock altogether. One is that is even harder to pick than the prime number lock of the RSA. It uses a different type of mathematics problem that is much more difficult to solve, even for powerful computers. Quantum cryptography, the future of codes. Now, imagine a supercomputer that could crack any code worldwide. That is the potential of quantum computing. It could break RSA and even ECC, but it could also help us create new unbreakable codes that are impossible to crack, even with the most powerful computers. Now, here is a pop quiz for you viewers. Imagine you are trying to protect a treasure chest with a lock. Would you rather use a regular padlock or a super strong futuristic lock that is nearly impossible to pick? Well, exactly. If you think that you would probably choose the stronger lock for better protection, that is what ECC is like, a stronger alternative to RSA. ECC is like a super strong lock for your secret messages. And quantum cryptography could change the future of encryption entirely. It's like a constant race between code makers and code breakers, always trying to stay one step ahead. Cybersecurity class, have you ever wanted to browse the internet without leaving a trace, like a secret agent? That's where Tor or TOR comes in. The onion router. Imagine a maze with lots of twists and turns. Your internet traffic travels through this maze, bouncing off different points so no one can track where it came from or where it's going. That is what Tor or TOR does. It makes you anonymous online. Perfect forward secrecy or PFS. Now, imagine that each turn in the maze has a different lock and key. Even if someone gets one key, they cannot unlock the whole maze and track your path. That is perfect forward secrecy. It adds an extra layer of protection. Hidden websites. Deep inside the maze we're talking about, there are hidden websites that you can only access through the Tor. It's like a secret club with a hidden entrance. Only members know how to find it. Now, here is a pop quiz question for you viewers. Let's say you want to send a secret message to someone on the other side of the classroom, but you don't want anyone to know who sent it. How could you use TOR or TOR to do this? If you think you could use the TOR to bounce your message off different computers in the classroom, making it difficult to trace back to you, then you are correct. Tor is a powerful tool for anonymity, like a secret passageway on the internet. But remember, it can be used for good or bad purposes. It's like a double-edged sword. It can protect your privacy, but it can also be used to hide illegal activities. So be careful. In summary, cryptography is a powerful tool in cybersecurity that keeps data secure through encryption, decryption, and careful key management. By understanding these concepts, you're building a solid foundation for data protection. Coming up next is Module 5, Cryptography, Part 3. In this module, we are going to build on the basics we have covered in the previous modules and dive into some more cryptography. We will continue to look at asymmetric cryptography, key management. Thank you for watching and see you in Module 5.